Look at this. Well, there's the Welcome to North Carolina sign. Which means I'm leaving North Carolina, but where's the Welcome to Georgia sign? Let's find it. Oh, there it is right there. Welcome to not Georgia, but North Georgia. How about that? Wine Country Festivals and the Gorge. And there it is, the Dillard City Limit, Georgia State Line, in Rabun County. Alright, welcome to Georgia. And look at this. We're on what's called the Georgia Wine Highway. Alright. This is interesting. I walked by this police car and I couldn't figure out what those things were on the back of his trunk there. So I had him roll down his window. Those are actually license plate readers. So they can just sit there on the side of the road when a car comes by. It'll read the license plate, and then the big database of the sky will tell them if it's a car with no insurance, if it's somebody who's got a warrant, things of that sort. So pretty clever, I guess, but pretty efficient. I don't know if it's pretty intrusive or not, but so if you're traveling Georgia, make sure you got your insurance, make sure you don't have warrants, because those automatic things are going to pick you up. Well, this is a little town of Dillard, Georgia. Not too big, not really a whole lot. It's named after a guy after the American Revolutionary War who was granted 1,000 acres. How about that? You know, you get 1,000 acres for your service in the military. Anyway, he after his service in the Revolutionary War, he got his 1,000 acres down here and established a town, and it just did its thing. It's a small town, I think only about 700 and something people. But what I want to also show you too is, see that? That's snow. Yes, it snowed last night over there in Franklin. Didn't stick around too much, and you can see it didn't really stick around here at all, except a little bit on the shadows of the roofs there. But it has been cold and breezy today, just bordering around freezing. 34, I've seen some temperature signs here, 34, 33. And I think it's supposed to get down to 19 tonight. But, and I want to say thank you. I contacted a church here in up here in Clayton. Told them what I was doing, asked them if I could sleep on the floor of a classroom or a meeting room they had to get out of the cold tonight. And they did one better. They're going to put me up in a motel. How about that? I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't asking for that, but they said, yeah, you know, well, we don't have any room here, but we'll put you up in the motel. So when you get into Clayton, give us a call. We'll meet you down there and get you all set up. So thank you, church. That would be St. Helena Catholic Church in Clayton, Georgia. Thank you very much, Father Alvarez. Thank you very much. Well, here's a little bit of a mystery. I've been following from right about that way, that's north, about a quarter mile, a little bit less, these old narrow gauge railroad tracks. I wonder if there's any way I can find out what they're all about. What do you think? Can you find anything? These are this track here is just south of Dillard, about 6 miles north of Clayton. Old narrow gauge. These are narrow gauge tracks. Huh. Maybe I'll find something down here. Who knows? Well, a little closer to solving the mystery, I guess. Rabun Gap. Looks more like maybe an old preserved depot. But still, these narrow gauge tracks are throwing me off. I don't know of any mines around here. Train bulletin. Oh, Railroad Museum. Huh. Tallulah Falls Railroad. Looks like the museum's closed. Can't find out. Well, guess it might have something to do with the Tallulah Falls Railroad. Whatever that had to do with. I don't know if that's mining or what. Huh. Well, if you come up with something, let me know in the comments there. Just coming through Mountain City, Georgia right now. Black Mountain State Park is turn off up ahead. Well, that's behind me now. But I got 3 friends. 3 friends to greet me in Mountain City. There's Friend Imagine, Friend Dream, and Friend Hope. Imagine, Dream, and Hope. Thanks for greeting me here. Have a nice day and don't get too freezing cold tonight. Okay, you're looking at the town of Clayton, Georgia. Clayton, Georgia. It's in Rabun County, and Clayton is actually the county seat of Rabun County. Clayton was formed actually in 1821. I guess it was a logging area at some point in time. But also in this area is the Tallulah River, which became important in the sense that there were 10 dams and hydroelectric plants that were eventually built along the river to provide power for the area. Clayton is named after a U.S. congressman from way back in the 1800s, and Clayton was actually called the Dividings before it was Clayton, before the area became an incorporated area. The Dividings referred to it's either 3 or 5 Cherokee Indian trading trails that converged in this area. And then once the settlers came in, they then renamed it after their guy, you know? Some other notable facts about Clayton is that this was actually where Old Yeller, the movie Old Yeller, was filmed, or parts of it, if you remember that movie from 1957, a Disney movie. And if you haven't, it was a good movie, so kids, go out there and rent that movie or find it online somewhere. I think it's kind of a tearjerker, isn't it? And then in the 70s, the movie Grizzly was filmed here as well, and a number of the townspeople were used as extras in the movie. And the interesting fact about the movie Grizzly is at the time, it was the highest grossing independently made film in the country, only to be surpassed by I think the movie Halloween a couple years later. So anyway, this is Clayton, Georgia, and I'm heading out somewhere today. I'm probably heading towards Tallulah Falls. I don't know if I'll get that far today. Freezing cold last night, but I stayed at the Days Inn thanks to St. Helena Church, so thank you very much for that. Didn't expect that at all. And today it's supposed to be, I think 50 or something like that, so vastly warmed up. And I think tonight it's going to be 30, so vastly warmed up again, so I'll just hang out in the woods somewhere, I guess. But first, got to get something to eat. Hit the Walmart for food for a couple days, and this is the continuance of my leg to Athens, Georgia, where I'll take a couple days off, and from there I'll figure out my route down the rest of Georgia. So let's head on out. So here's my friend Bazz, right?
Hey, it's Bazz, B-A-Z-Z. It sounds like jazz.
All right, jazzy Bazzy.
Yeah.
But met him outside of Walmart here. He's heading back to South Carolina, no, Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Came from Louisiana, going to South Carolina, and on the way back. And let's hope he gets there before Christmas.
Right. Thank you, Mike.
You're very welcome.
Dude, you're awesome.
All right.
Sweet. And can I get a picture of mine?
You know something? There's something that struck me about him, Bazz. When I saw him coming out, when I was coming out the parking lot there at Walmart, seeing him sitting there in the corner, it's one of those things, you know, how when you see somebody and you feel some sort of, I don't know if you say it's a connection or what, but it was almost like, you know, we theoretically believe this, right? When we read that in the gospel, whatsoever you do to least my brothers, you do unto me, and that when we look upon others, we're looking upon Christ himself. And that was a real, I saw Christ himself right there. Something about that struck me. But anyway, he also goes to prove you don't need a whole lot, right? I don't know if you notice his clothes or anything, but they're all like little patches of cloth here and there, bandanas, things like that he found. Of course, he's wearing a sweater underneath, and his hat as well. So what he does is just whenever he finds little pieces of cloth or gets enough money to buy a bandana or whatever, he stitches it all together with 99-cent dental floss, and there's his clothes. And he owns what he owns. He was packing his pack, kind of like me. Huh. We don't need a whole lot, do we? That's for sure. And speaking of today, I might get down to Tallulah Falls, Tallulah Gorge, Tallulah River, whatever it's called. But I might hold up short. Or I might go past it. My target is about another 11.5 miles from here. It's afternoon. I'm not really feeling like walking much after mid-afternoon, so yeah, we'll see what happens. I've got 75 miles to go to Athens. Guess I'll try and do that in 5 days. Well, little do they know. Those cars just going by on the highway, and they have no clue that somebody's camping here. This is a little random piece of Forest Service land. I'll show it to you right here. That's a Highway 23 right there, looking looking southeasterly. So I'm just camped here on this little sliver of Forest Service land. Gonna call this home tonight. Looks like it was an old abandoned roadway. Depending upon what forecast you look at, it's going to be 29 or 30 tonight. So I got the tarp up. The humidity right now is not very much, but it's supposed to go up to about 60%, which actually isn't too bad. And but got it up just in case. No rain scheduled for tonight. But yep, this is the spot here for tonight. And it's already getting pretty cold. It's about, what, 5 o'clock, somewhere around there. And I'll just watch traffic go by tonight, and they won't see me. And then I'll probably head out early in the morning, because I stopped early. I stopped just about 4 o'clock. I still had another 4 miles to go, 4.5 miles to go, but I was kind of dragging today. So that's it from off the side of Highway 23, which I'm turning off of tomorrow. Buenas noches. Well, this is the Tallulah River and the Tallulah River Gorge. It's a lot prettier in person. I was going to camp last night just a little bit beyond this point, but I fell short, obviously. But anyway, the Tallulah River, there's Tallulah Falls right over here somewhere. And then it comes down here underneath the highway. I bet you that's really roaring in the spring. Pretty neato. Alright, continue on here. And here's the gorge from another angle. This gorge is 350 feet deep, and it's looking there towards the southeast, I believe. Tempesta Falls is down there. And this is looking towards Hurricane Falls, which is down that way, I think, around a bend. Tallulah Gorge, Tallulah River Gorge. I found this little interpretive center. I bet I could have stealth camped here last night. Alright, back on the highway. All the noise. Unfortunately, there's a trail here, but unfortunately it doesn't take me where I need to go. It goes down to the gorge and then over that way, I think. I need to go over there. Well, I got off the busy road there. That was Highway 23, which is also Highway 441 together. And this is old 441. But I want to point this out. It's kind of pretty strata, isn't it? All those different layers there. And also, I wanted to point out, I'm dragging today and dragging yesterday. Yesterday I only ended up doing 12 miles. Maybe even 11 and a half. Today, in 3 hours, I've only gone 4.5 miles. So I think I'm going to end up pulling up short from where I planned on camping again today. You know, that's the way it goes, right? I'll still make my time into Athens, as long as I don't keep pulling up short these next 3 days. Oh well, that's the way it goes. Da 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 da. Enjoy the scenery, right? That sounds luscious and delicious, and it would certainly be refreshing on a hot day. Yes, it would. This is Panther Creek. Trailhead is closed because of some erosion on the creek. But yeah, it'd be refreshing on a hot day, but not on a 49-degree day. Nope. It would sure wake you up, right? Well, I turned off the main highway, and I think I'll be off that for a while. But I came across this used car lot. Looks like they probably have a lot of good deals. You see any in there that hit your fancy? Do you remember this movie? Yep, Gigi. If so, who were the main stars, and what was one of the main songs in it? Take a guess before I play the clip.
Thank heaven for little girls. Thank heaven for them all, no matter where, no matter who. Without them, what would little boys do?
You know what's interesting is how seemingly quickly the topography, the flora, and the fauna change as I go from region to region. So here in Georgia, I've been getting into more of these piney woods. I'll see, this is on a road called Rock Road. And of course it's interspersed with the deciduous woodlands as well. And also the, I don't know, kind of the feeling, I don't know if you could say the nature of, but the feeling of these little back roads. It's really hard to describe. Speaking of feelings too, it's I've had I may have mentioned this before, but this trip has been the same goal as the other trip last year, and that it was a God thing, you know, to tell people God's shining His light on your path. He loves you very much, and He's warning all of us that time's running short. And I think I've also mentioned too that I realized at the outset that this trip would be a bit more solitary, and it has been. Not because of the virus stuff, but just because it has been, you know. And then the other thing too is as I had last year, visions or perceptions of what different regions last year would feel like. This year was the same, and the one question that I always had in my head since beginning was, what would Georgia be like? And I always had this sense of it being kind of a, I don't know, a deep, dark void. Not Georgia itself, but in my feeling. Not my feeling of it, but that there being somewhat of a deep, dark void as I entered and went through Georgia. And I have begun to feel that, you know. It's like, I don't know, there's an extreme, it's like an extreme sadness has descended upon me. And it's not a sadness of my own feeling, it's kind of like an otherworldly type of sadness, a grief. a forlornness. It's really hard to describe these things. They're more than just feelings per se. It's just that I don't know if it's a spiritual sense that lays over the land. It has nothing to do with recent events either. Like I said, it's even months ago I felt this coming into this trip. So all we can do is continue to pray, ask God to give us the light and give the rest of the land the light. I really do think something's coming down someday pretty soon. Well, would any of you like to do some homework? How much is this house? It's 469 Mountain View Drive. 469 Mountain View Drive in Toccoa, Georgia. Looks like a nice little house, got a little lake view. Looks like this is some sort of association here. But if you feel like doing some homework, let me know. Type it in the comments. How much is that house? Huh. Well, it was supposed to rain today, and it did sprinkle a little bit while I was down there at the Mini Mart gas station getting some hot dogs and stuff. But now it's just overcast. Don't know if it's going to continue to rain or not. It'll make it a lot easier if it doesn't rain, then that way I don't have to worry too much about finding a camp spot. It's quiet on this road. Nice and quiet. Listen to that. And I might say, perfect timing. I was walking the road down there, which was called, I forget. I forget what the road was. But I was considering my choices of camping, which weren't very many. I called one church called Ellis Chapel and left them a message asking if I could have permission to camp in their picnic shelter. Never got a call back, so I was just going to stealth camp there anyway, even if I didn't have permission. It's easier to ask forgiveness than permission. Then anyway, as I was walking down the road, all of a sudden it started thundering and lightning, and then a couple of drops of rain, and more drops of rain. And so I was going, oh no, I better hurry up here. And then all of a sudden this truck came by with Daryl and his son Carson. And he said, hey, you need a ride somewhere? And I said, well, yeah, I'm going to this church. And he said, okay, we need to go around the corner and pick something, and we'll be right back. And then in that moment of time, I got a message a missed call from this church here, Allen's Methodist Church. So thank you very much, Allen Methodist Church. Right at that very minute, I got a missed call, so I called him back, and he said, yeah, you wanted to camp in our barbecue area here? And I said, yeah. He said, well, that'd be fine. So nothing happens by chance, and it also turns out to be 2 miles further. So my 2-mile ride turned out to be a 4-mile ride, and once again, thank you, Daryl and Carson. And so now I'll be camping out here under a nice big picnic pavilion. All right. How's that for noisy, huh? Look how crisp and clear a Saturday morning it is. Amazing how the weather can change just like that, right? All that heavy and loud rain from last night, and nice clear day. And the other thing too is it's supposed to be I think 61 today. It was only in the 50s yesterday, low 50s, and at night I think it got down close to freezing. This will be a nice day of walking. Hello guys, how you doing? Yeah. You're just staring at me. What's this guy walking through here, man? Right, going through Carnesville. That's the goal today, and then I've got already a church lined up, so I get to stay on their property tonight. And then tomorrow, I'll be just short of Athens. And then Athens, I'll take a couple days off. This guy was just staring at me. Well, here's a sign that I truly am in the South. Flying their rebel flag proudly. Okay, knucklehead, pay attention. I just missed a turn back there. Now I've added a mile to my route. Pay attention, man. Come on. Over there. Oh well, I get to see more scenery, right? Yeah. Nothing happens by chance. Well, I guess it was one of those nothing happens by chance things. By missing that turn back there, I get to walk on the dirt road. I don't know if it's worth an extra mile. Maybe it is, I don't know. Old Stagecoach Road. You think the stagecoach came through here a long time ago? Well, good morning to you. How y'all doing? Did you stay out of the rain last night? Huh? Okay, I won't come any closer. And look at this. Hello, friend. Are you protecting the flock there? Well, I got a couple miles of dirt road. Let's turn back to pavement here now. As I get into Carnesville, is that how it is? Carnesville? I think Carnesville's up around the bend here, about a mile and a half. Well, here's the county courthouse of Franklin County. We're in Carnesville, Georgia. Carnesville happens to be the county seat of Franklin County. And this is about the extent of Carnesville. Just this block and a half right here, and then down there's a gas station and a Piggly Wiggly. Carnesville right now has a population of about 530, 540. And it was formed, the county was formed back in 1783 with the Treaty of the Indians. The Creek Indians and the Cherokee Indians lived in this area. And Franklin County at the time encompassed part of what later became South Carolina, and also what is currently 12 other counties in Georgia. And let's see, in 1787, the part that's now in South Carolina became part of South Carolina. And then what are now the other 12 counties in Georgia peeled off one by one and became their own counties through the years, so that all that's left is Franklin County, and little Carnesville is the county seat. Basically, it's historically been a corn, sorghum, cotton producing area. And as you saw earlier, there's even some cows. Also, further on down the road, I don't forget which way, Royston, Livonia, was known for some mineral springs, so people from Athens would come up and bathe in the mineral waters. And here's something interesting too. In the 1850 U.S. Census, Carnesville had a population of 9,100 free people and 2,300 slaves. So they counted free and slaves in. But now it's down to 530, 540 people, but it's still the county seat. And this courthouse here was built in 1906. And Carnesville, by the way, is named after Judge Carnes, who was also a Revolutionary War era congressman. All right, so Carnesville, Georgia. Now we're heading down this way. Going to eventually hit onto Highway 106. And from what I understand, there might be a covered bridge down that way. So let's see what we find, huh? So this is interesting. Ever since I've gotten into Georgia, especially as I've gotten further south, I've seen more and more of these abandoned, or either chicken coops or hog raising buildings. But all the ones that I've seen so far this year, or since being here, they've all been abandoned. From what I understand, I believe the chicken raising business is pretty very thin margin. And I guess the hog business is too, especially depending upon what hog prices are doing at any given time during their cycle. Huh. Cemetery. No, I'm not camping in a cemetery tonight, but I did want to point this out, that in Georgia I've seen a number of these cemeteries where they either have this border laid around where the graves are with gravel in it, or they have what I would consider a cement cap along the top of the graves, which is it's very unique. I haven't seen that in any other cemeteries crossing the U.S. Anybody know what the tradition is behind this? Because this is the first time I've encountered this. So, oh, that's a wonderful name to have, right? Mr. and Mrs. Peace. Huh. Okay. Another mile and a half or so to go. The last mile is usually the longest. Rest in peace, everyone. Here was a nice little view to wake up to, yeah. And even though there's water dripping off of here, it's just the frost on the roof that's melting. But got out from the dew and the 32, the dew and the 32 degrees. Liberty Church, thank you very much. They got a big property here, all these woods and all that. So got to head on out now. Tonight's another church. I don't think I have any cover, but that'll be okay because my next day I'll be in to Athens. I could dry everything out, and 17 miles today. So let's get a move on here, huh? Darn, thought if I just snapped my finger, that would all stuff itself up. Yep. Biosecurity alert. Here's one of those chicken coops or pig coops, whatever they are. Doesn't seem to be in operation. Also looks like it might be for sale. So if you want to buy a chicken coop, you can call that guy. This is on the way to Isla, however you pronounce it, I-L-A, Isla, Georgia, Highway 106. Well, you have your hunter's pink on, huh? So nobody's going to mistake you for a deer. And you've got hunter's purple, kind of a little bit more subdued, huh? And hello to you too, guys. Howdy. Okay, I'm here at the Isla restaurant, right?
Correct.
This is Barry, and your wife's name is?
Jack.
Jackie, over there in the red. Over there. So,
Hey, Rhonda, come over here real quick. Get in.
yeah. Okay. Rhonda's right over there. Right there. Anyway, Barry's been running the Isla restaurant since 1995.
Well, I'm correct. My wife has.
Oh, your wife has. Okay. Barry just hangs around here.
I just hang around here.
Yeah. And I was surprised at what I found here. I didn't expect this, but it was pretty good. And you ever
These
get
are our regulars right here that you see.
here's
This is all these copies.
Okay.
The restaurants.
Okay. And if you ever get to Isla, or if you ever get to Athens, just 15 miles north on 106, right?
106, correct.
Yeah. Just come up, University of Georgia, come on up, and you get a good meal. All right.
All right, thank you.
So that's the Isla restaurant, booming business. And I think they're only open like 4 hours a day, 3.5, 4 hours a day. So pretty good little concern, and thanks a lot, Barry. So Isla, what do we know about Isla? I don't know. I don't know a whole lot. Isla is, I guess, a transliteration from the Choctaw Indian language for the word dead. Now what that has the meaning of, I don't know. Anyway, Isla is in Madison County, Georgia, and it was incorporated in 1910. And let me cross the road over here. I hope I don't get run over so you can see these nice, colorful little buildings. Anyway, Isla's got about 350 people, but from the signs of that restaurant there, I bet you all 350 people come here on Sunday for a good Sunday meal. And like I said before, if you're ever in Athens, Georgia, come 15 miles up the road on 106 and get a nice meal. All right, I need to get something to hold me over for tonight, and then on to Athens tomorrow. I got a day off finally coming. See, after what? See, I gotta go this way. 8 or 9 days. And last night, thank you very much to canvas church here right outside Athens. I set up right there by the trees, so that was nice. Got a little rain, but it wasn't too bad. So now I make my way into Athens. Hopefully I get a early check-in here, and I'll take 2 days off here in Athens. And let's see, I gotta find my way through here. I gotta walk through the cemetery. And this has got a all right, so on to Athens. Okay, made it. See, look at this again. I guess that's some sort of tradition here, huh? I know in I've been to New Orleans, and I think in Key West as well. They put like cement caps over these because of the, I guess because of the high water table. But learn something new every day. Thanks for keeping me company last night. Coming into the north part of Athens here, but I don't know, it's been kind of eerie a little bit. I mean, cars have not been in the parking lots. It's a Monday, and the traffic's not been very heavy at all. Now it could be because it's that golden hour between 10 and 11, but still. Let's see what downtown Athens and the University of Georgia area looks like. It's almost like a ghost town. Huh. Well, here's the Oconee River in Athens, and I'm starting to feel a little bit better. It's not as dead down here. More traffic. There's cars parked up at this building up here. So maybe it was just the nature of those places where I was, huh? Let's see what downtown looks like. North Oconee River. Oconee. How do you pronounce it? Well, here's City Hall for Athens, Georgia. So Athens, Georgia, before it was known as Athens, it was a trading settlement on the Oconee River down there. I think it was called Cedar Shoals. That's a nice building here. Anyway, then the University of Georgia was established here in the area. And first buildings were built of logs and stuff. And then there was a guy that bought 600 acres around here. I think the guy's name was Millage, who also ended up becoming governor of Georgia later on. He had bought 600 acres and developed and donated it to the university to build it into, I guess, what it's become today. It's kind of pretty downtown, huh? After the university established itself, then the city was incorporated, and they named it Athens. And you may think there's a connection to Athens, Greece. Well, sort of, because they named it Athens in honor of the Greek philosophers, Plato and Socrates, and I guess to tie that into the university and all that. So then Athens became a big center for the cotton industry. There were a lot of cotton mills around here. In fact, at one time was called the Manchester of the South. Manchester being Manchester, England, which at that time had a bunch of industry and factories and mills and things of that sort. And then the Civil War came along, and this was a big supply center for the Confederate Army. And then after the Civil War, during Reconstruction, the city continued to grow with mills and businesses. Railroads came in and all that. In fact, the first railroads came in because the people in town, or at least the businessmen in town, were tired of their wagons getting stuck in the mud. So they decided, oh, we got to build a railroad here. And then more railroads came in, and Athens continued to grow to what it is today. Not any other remarkable history after that. You know, some of its history was tied in with segregation and emancipation of the blacks and all that. But it's very pretty, you know. What's it remind me of? I don't know. Somebody told me the other day that Athens reminds them a little bit of Austin, Texas. I don't know, Ron, are you watching? Anybody from Austin, Texas, or been to Austin, Texas? This kind of reminds you a little bit of Austin, Texas? Anyway, Athens, pretty nice little, cute little place here. I gotta find where I'm going. Take a couple days off. I think I'm going over to this way here. Alright, better put this away before I get run over. Oh, and speaking of the University of Georgia, here's part of the campus right here. Look at that. That's quite pretty. Let's see if I can zoom in there. Almost looks like spring down there, huh? The other thing that I've noticed about just being in this small part of Athens is that unlike the rest of Georgia that I've been in so far, it seems like almost everybody's wearing masks, even outside. Whereas through the first part of northern Georgia, it's been like, who needs I don't need no stinking mask. Anyway, Athens, Georgia, University of Georgia. There's a nice building there too. Huh. This is pretty. Glad I came through here. And here's one last look of Athens, or I should say one more look. I ended up staying here a couple extra days. It's pretty nice lit up here for Christmas. So anyway, the City Hall is down that way, and then the University of Georgia is down that way. It's actually a pretty nice campus. So I just stopped here to get something to eat. Then I'm going to head on back and go to sleep. I pulled up short from where I was going to camp tonight. I was going to, if you recall, go stealth camp in the park over there. But that ain't happening tonight because